Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the Alternative Dig Talk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
We President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the Alternative Dig Talk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugendo maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop, and smart TVs. As we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Omusajja bulijjo muwa ssente mu kibanja mpola ng'asonda poloti ennungi naye ngenza okutuuka nga woofiisi bulijjo wenteeka ssente baavaawo nadda essimu tebazikwata kyokka nga n'ebyentambula byakaweerega ebiseera bya covid yegandabye
gwe baakubye naye lwaki weesiga abafere lwaki tewanneebuuzaako ne nkulagirira ba praise nze be bannyamba nze ndyokke.
Praise Property Consultants Uganda Limited bagula n'okutunda ettaka kosana amayumba bapunta ettaka ne bakwanguyiza okufuna ekyapa bazimba amayumba kosana okuba plan ne architectural design balina plot enteeketeeke wonna w'ogyetaaze ate ku byapa ebya private mile land n'ebibanja ku ttaka lya Kabaka era bakkiriza ekibanja mpola basange Wandegeya mu katale ka KCCA Southern Wing leve y'okusatu lumu 128 oba ku ssimu 0706 147 006 ne 0783 821 918.
Welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday right from 6 to 7. It is your responsibility omwana wo kubeera mu nyumba nga teyasuze bweru mbo bamubanja rent. Koyo kulaba abalenzi abasajja abafunga butuufu tebabuulirirwa nga babulamu. Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Dig Talk mukwano gwange gwaliye topic kiji wandiyagadde twogereko. Is it about family? You can take your time. Look for a job, stabilize, men will come, men will always be there, you will get the men. Bonna goyagala musajja yina goyagala ojja mufuna. Embaga ketuuke. Bino bitu byasenga na ojja bafuna. Naye ng'oli asitudde tuyakedde ku macha baga nti nsitudde tu. Naye nga mutuufu agambye nti gy'akyali. Akyali muto. Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships? Just be commenting a topic yina gyandiyagadde twogereko tujjako tujogera kwano ku the Alternative Dig Talk ku share enganzi the Snap Talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Digitalk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Digitalk. Digitalk, the way to go.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Tourists continue to cancel their trips in Uganda as various people in the country claim that the COVID-19 testing prices in the country are actually so expensive for the tourists to continue paying for them at the Entebbe International Airport, despite the fact that the government reduced the prices from $65 to $30. Samia Suluhu, also back there in Tanzania, declares that she is coming back in 2025, set to become the first female president of this Tanzanian country. Ladies and gentlemen, Antonio Guterres is also back in another five-year term as the Secretary General of the United Nations, as Kano Domboya Mamado continues not to know what exactly is his fate as the president of the New Guinea Conakry. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome aboard. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. We are back and better, and this is a new week, and you know what we do. We bring you fresh information, fresh in the real sense of the word, and we are back, we are better. This show is proudly sponsored by Praise Property Consultants. They deal in land, everything land. You know, they sell, they buy land on the different parts of the country. They have land along Masaka Road, they have land on the Entebbe Road, they have land in Mitiana Road and various parts of the country. So feel free to just call them. The number is 0706 1470 06, or you can call them on their MTN. It is 0783 821918. They will be able to make sure that you are satisfied. And you can also go to their offices. That is at Wandegea Market. That is KCCA Wandegea Market, room 128. You will find Praise Property Consultants. This is the Mighty Drive, ladies and gentlemen. And we are back. We are better. We are proudly here to serve you, as we also made a commitment with you that we shall break down having a conversation with Uganda every Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We are always here to make sure that you are informed and make informed decisions from an informed perspective. To help me bring this magic to you, my producer of the day is Rogers Turiahabwe, and the lady on camera is Teddy Tenjo Nabukera, and of course we have the director of the show, that is Kato Atumusime. Make sure that this magic comes to you in real time. We are sorry for the delayed, live stream. You know what happens, Facebook is still closed in the country, and we are looking for a way to maybe make sure that we come to you. Nevertheless, we are here. That brings a conclusion to the English saying that better late than never. Ladies and gentlemen, munzikirize nyingireko mawulire agabadde gatambula mu ggwanga ne wabweru w'eggwanga. Ndowooza tutandikireko wabweru w'eggwanga. Kano Mamado Domboya paka sawa zino tanaleeta constitutionalism mu ggwanga liri erya Guinea Conakry. Omwami ono yakwata obuyinza nga guno omwezi ogwa September gwakatandika, n'alaga mbu nno amagye ne gajjako President Alpha Conde nga gagamba omwami ono ya abrogating their constitution, okweyongeza ekisanja ekyali ekyokusatu. Jjukira Guinea Conakry yali tesobola kukkiriza muntu yenna kukwata buyinza for more than 2 terms. But this gentleman Alpha Conde defied the odds and came back and was able to actually take power, and for the 3rd term, which the UPDF of Guinea Conakry, that meaning the militia and the military, did not actually accept. Bakiriza ntino kino kyalina okukolebwa era ne bagamba mbu nno bo Kano omwami Alpha Conde bamuggyeko nga kupa eno yali led by Kano Mamado Domboya paka sawa zinakyasobeddwa mu kyalo ne mu kibira. In fact yakafuna spokesperson wa government yabadde tamulina government ntena kakasa kiki ekiddako. Is constitutionalism going to reign in the country? In fact ne guli omukako ogubagatta ogwa ECOWAS gwavuddeyo ne gugamba mbu bannange what are some of the plans that you have for the country. So omwami ono kano mama Domboya alinga ekintu ky'okwata obuyinza kyamugwako bugwi. So let's wait and see what will be happening in Guinea Conakry. But up to now, Alpha Conde is safe and sound. That is what the government says, that is in power right now in Guinea Conakry. Bagamba, he's safe and sound. He's being served as a statesman, and he is not harmed in any way or the other. Tukome wano mu ggwanga erya Uganda waliwo ekigambo kye bayita nepotism kwe kubanga omuntu employing abantu abatali aba family ye okubanga bakola mu offices ezali badde eza buli omwe. Ennaku zino nozo omuntu omunene omwagula byo gwabadde mu Sunday Monitor yesterday, that was nga gugamba mbu omukyala Nabbanja n'omwami Tayebwa ba employees abantu abenjawulo okubanga bakola, in fact ba employees abantu abeewaabwe oba family yaabwe okubanga bebakola mu office of the prime minister n'okukola mu bifo ebyenkizo mu government. So kino ekintu kireesewo a lot of nepotism claims saying that how can Miss Nabbanja, the prime minister of this country, really employ only her daughters to actually be in the office of the prime minister, taking key positions and in the office of the prime minister. Kino kireetawo okwogera okugamba mbuno waliwo ebyana waliwo n'abaana. Is this what is going on in the country? We don't know, but that is what exactly the Daily Monitor actually surfaced. Nebagamba this Nabbanja, the lady who's loved by many, she claimed that she's bringing her daughters because they are competent. Naye omwami Tayebwa no government chief whip tanayogera kintu kyonna ku zino claims ez'okubanga family members be bali mu bifo ebyenkizo. Kino ekintu kibaddewo over time. We have seen different governments and different individuals employ their close relatives to actually work in administrative positions. Ekibadde kireetawo ekintu ky'okugamba mu bannange. Is nepotism one of the biggest problem that Africa is facing? This has not been a problem that Africa has faced alone. Abasoma history oba European history mwalabanga ba leaders abasinga ekintu ekyabasuulanga kwali okubanga they employ people or their family members. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have Nelson Nkwene. He is from the Safe Space Network. He will be telling you what that organization actually does and its role in the country and in the organizational space. What does the Safe Space Network actually do? So he is our guest today, and he'll be joining me and Farida Bikobere in a few minutes from now. Tuongereko mawuli amala nabagambe muno ba tourists beyongedde okubanga basazamu trips zaabwe ezibadde zijja mu ggwanga. During from the time COVID-19 broke out in the country, we've been seeing a lot of tourists being charged overly hiked prices. That is $65 per COVID-19 test. Ladies and gentlemen, in countries like the United States, these tests actually go for $1. Dole emu eba testing omuntu ziri 13,700 ezawano. Naye bya Uganda bimanyi byo bina engeri gye babi pricing amu differently naye nga kyekyo. So abantu tourists abasinze in fact government last week yavaayo ne kakasa nti nesaze guno omuwendo ogwa COVID testing wali ku the Entebbe International Airport kegamba nti prices zibadde za waggulu nnyo. So ne basala pricing eno ne bagiteeka ku $30 per tourist that comes in the country. Unfortunately, these prices are still high because when you look at $30 is actually a lot of money. Naye ngovudde ne kwekyo, the tourists are also claiming that some of them have actually been vaccinated. Bafunye double vaccine naye ekyewuuzibwa, why are they actually being subjected to COVID-19 tests? Because they have already been vaccinated, so they believe they are safe and they shouldn't be actually actually tested. But the problem comes up in a way that having $30 ng'omuntu zalina okusasula $30 wokubisaamu 30 times 3,700 egibeeranga emitwalo ndooza nga 10. Yes, gibeera emitwalo nga 10 approximately. So olabira ddala ntino that is a challenge. Abamu wa tourists bangi abadde bakyegobyeku nga bagamba bannange okukebera COVID it takes a long time, yet you've actually been vaccinated from your home country. So abantu bagamba bino testing eno eri mandatory basobole okuba nga bagijjawo wali ku Entebbe International Airport. Tugendeko waggulu mu mambuka g'eggwanga, that is Lira City. Amawuli amabi agaveeyo. Christine Akelo omukyalo nabadde n'emyaka 43 olunaku olwali lwa mukaaga. I think this lady was actually decapitated by their husband. Omwami we bamuyita Dennis Alala alina emyaka 53 yakuta omukyala we n'amutemako omutwe mu broad daylight ng'ensi yonna eraba. Yakwata n'amutemako omutwe. Tetudamanya kiki kyennyini ekyaleetedde omwami ono Alala okubanga asobola okutemako omusajja omukyala we omutwe ng'ensi yonna eraba in broad daylight. Such a devastating message from the upper part of the country. Omwami ono Dennis Alal ndoza eraite yawonyeko kuba abagajambula nabo babadde bagala kumulyamu buli webatyo nga omanyi when you do something that is outrageous like that, even the community also comes out to say that what you have done is actually wrong. Mu retaliation oba in fact clan ya Kelo eyasazidwako omutwe yagambye mbuno betaaga okuba liyirira okubawa ente 8 okubanga bazaawo at least wadde tebasobola kuzaawo obulamu bwa Kelo naye banaaba bafunyeemu bonga family okubanga baba compensating for such an outrageous act. Omuntu atemako munno omutwe, oh my god, that is something that I cannot actually even imagine. The show is The Mighty Drive. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga okubanga nkwereza olunaku olwaleero. It is still a cold morning right here in Lukuli Konge, where we are streaming live from in Uganda's first ever digitalized mobile studio. So ndozanga tugenda kumaliza omwami Archbishop John Alwanga omulambo gogenda kubanga guziikibwa olunaku olwaleero omulambo gwakomezebwawo olunaku olwali lwakutaano. So olunaku olwaleero Archbishop John Alwanga, the Archbishop of the Orthodox Church in the country, the fallen soldier. He has been someone who spoke out his heart and believed in whatever he said. So Archbishop John Alwanga will be laid to rest today at I think at the Orthodox Church, and he will be remembered forever for his great work in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, that gentleman John Alwanga died of prostate cancer 2 weeks ago in Athens, that is Greece. As we come to the end of the show of the Mighty News updates, because after these updates we'll be having Nelson joining me and Farida Bikobere as we dissect more on what is happening in the country. Immaculate Onebe omukyalo ono ndoza mumujjukira yattibwa ne musango omulambo gwe ne gusangibwa mu makage wali emunyonyo. Immaculate Onebe has actually been laid to rest. Was laid to rest on the 18th of September, that was 2021, in her home district, that is Kabare Maido. Immaculate Onebe paka sawa no police ekyanoonyereza kiki ennyini ekyaleetebwa okuttibwa kw'omwami ono omukyalo ono Immaculate Onebe. Sawa zino omwami we bamulina in custody era bagamba bajja kuba bamunoonyerezaako Francis Onebe obanga yaliko mu lukwe luno olwagezaako okutta omukyala we Immaculate Onebe. Ladies and gentlemen, a Bank of Uganda naye yajjayo finally has withdrawn its case against Sudhir Ruparelia, Uganda's tycoon or wealthiest individual in the country. That is Sudhir Ruparelia. Juka Crane Bank, in fact, Bank of Uganda, yaggalawo bank yono mwami bagiyita Crane Bank mu ngeri eyaye ey'amankwetu. Tebakakasa bulungi oba bank eno yali bankrupt ne bagenda ne bagiggalawo. Unfortunately, omwami ono yagenda in retaliation Sudhir Ruparelia reported the Bank of Uganda to court. Up to now, the Bank of Uganda was ordered to compensate Sudhir Ruparelia with the amount that Sudhir Ruparelia deems right to actually be paid for him in terms of his expenses, in terms of the time he has taken in court, and in terms of the money that he lost as the Crane Bank entity was illegally actually closed by the Bank of Uganda. Bank of Uganda yasoka nekusindika in the Court of Appeal appealing a judgment yali done by the High Court, but unfortunately even Bank of Uganda felt that this was a battle that they were not winning and decided to actually quit and say, you know what, we have withdrawn our case against Sudhir Ruparelia. That means Sudhir comes out as a victor in this particular war and will be compensated in the amount he feels that this is adequate for him. Yagenda okwesalyawo sente mmeka ze banaaba musasula wali in the musango gwa Bank of Uganda. Oli abantu nabatamanyiddwa manya bali eri mu Gulu City beerira bicepere na nkoko mu hotel za Gulu nga bagamba bazze kulaba omwami ono Salim Saleh. Balira ku biru ya bwerere bebakira bwerere naye nga actually these people are not guests of the gentleman Salim Saleh. Remember, this Kalebak and Naho, that is Salim Saleh, Inakuzino have a lot of government business and a lot of people flocking Gulu town. And some people have actually said this is like, flocking abantu ngaba flocking okuglaba nga mezaya. So dachikabiri mukaga zezaka itakusawa so ekyo kyekiri eggulu abantu bonna bali mukulira bwerere enkoko na byakulya mu office mu hotels ezino okubeera ez'abaami bali ez'omwami oli mukabagamba in fact bagenda kulaba omwami oli Kalebak and naho oba Salim Saleh banaye dakikaze kazimpeddeko wadde twayingira bit late naye kamalirize ne Carefa eno company bagita Carefa yakajja era it's a French company bagambye egenda kubanga taking up Shoprite jukira bava mu declaring ati bagenda kubanga bava mu Uganda. In fact si Uganda yoka bagenda kuva mu countries ezenjawulo that is Tanzania, that is other different countries in Africa nga bagamba I think they are running bankrupt as an institution. So let's wait and see. Carefa is a French company. Tetunamanya bingi nnyo bigikwatako naye yegenda okubanga taking over the administration of amaduka agabadde gali oba shopping malls oba hypermarkets ezibadde belonging to the French to Shoprite. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the show, but before you go, Manny Pacquiao actually is going to be elected president of the Philippines. Omwami ono abadde yava mu bikonde wali abadde akuba ebikonde bingi mu ggwanga liri erya Philippines. Naye actually as we're speaking right now, Manny Pacquiao might be smelling nga awunyiriza entebe y'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga liri erya Philippines. Java, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for keeping it. That is the Mighty Drive, the Alternative Uganda. Thank you so much for your comments. Keep those comments coming through and nominate any person that you would want to be on the show, and we'll make sure we bring them for you, because that is what we do. We are the Mighty Drive. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going for a short commercial break. When we return, the conversation starts on. I told you we have Mr. Nelson Nkwene. He is the Executive Director of Safe Space Network. He will be joining me in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. This show is proudly sponsored by Praise Property Consultants. We're going for a short commercial break. When we return, the conversation continues. Good morning.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Omusajja bulijjo muwa ssente mu kibanja mpola ng'asonda poloti ennungi naye ngenza okutuuka nga woofiisi bulijjo wenteeka ssente baavaawo nadda essimu tebazikwata kyokka nga n'ebyentambula byakaweeredde biseera bya kovidi yenga ndabye
gwe baakubye naye lwaki weesiga abafere lwaki tewanneebuuzaako ne nkulagirira ba praise nze be bannyamba nze ndyokke
Praise Property Consultants Uganda Limited bagula n'okutunda ettaka kw'ossa n'amayumba bapunta ettaka ne bakwanguyiza okufuna ekyapa bazimba amayumba kw'ossa n'okuba plan ne architectural design balina ploti enteeketeeke wonna w'ogyetaaze ate ku byapa ebya private Miloland n'ebibanja ku ttaka lya Kabaka era bakkiriza ekibanja mpola basange Wandegeya mu katale ka KCCA Southern Wing leve y'okusatu lumu 128 oba ku ssimu 0706 006 ne 0783 821 918.
Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday right from 6 to 7. It is your responsibility omwana wo kubeera mu nyumba nga teyasuze bweru mboba mubanja rent.
Koyo kulaba abalenzi abasajja abakunga butuufu tebabuulirirwa nga babulamu.
Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Dig Talk. Mukwano gwange gwaliye topic kiki wandiyagadde twogereko, is it about family? You can take your time, look for a job, stabilize, men will come. Men will always be there, you will get the men. Bonna goyagala musajja yina goyagala ojja mufuna.
Embaga ketuuke. Bino bitu byasenga na ojja bafuna. Naye ng'oli asitudde tuyakedde ku makya baga nti nsitudde tu. Naye nga mubutuufu agambye nti gy'akyali. Akyali muto.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships? Just be commenting a topic ina janjagadde twogereko tujjako tujogera kwano ku the alternative dig talk ku share enganzi the snap talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Nkwene.
Oh my goodness, this is a Monday and I am really happy because of the team that I have in the studios. A very good morning to you all that are watching us. We are live, my beautiful Facebook people. Please go and subscribe. Please go and like, follow the page and contribute in the discussion by sharing, tagging people and giving in your ideas. Farida Bikobere is my name. Sinja Kubari Sao, ngenda kuba wa quote of the day, then I welcome my guest of the day because of what day. Edgar yabulidde. Obwango bwali badde obwokwogera. Edgar yabulidde. But it is okay. Sijja munenya nnyo. Our quote of the day is be thankful for what you have. You will end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never ever have enough. Be thankful for what you have. You will end up having more. If you concentrate on what you do not have, you will never ever have enough.
On that note, let me tag Wamala Charles, who's watching right now. You know yourself. Tukamuwereza yengo omuntu.
Right.
Good morning,
Edgar.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Today we have the Executive Director of Safe Space Network, and he is Mr. Nkwene Nelson. So agenda kubanga atubulira what pushed him to start up Safe Space Network. The objectives of the organization, what they do, what their goals, what they have achieved, the challenges. Our today's topic is early pregnancies and the high rates of HIV AIDS. But when HIV, you are concentrating on coronavirus. Atta, but HIV at all. So to Bagamba, early affected. Mubeereko ng'ate mulaba olina sister wo olina mukwano gwo beerako muleme okuba nti ate abantu bano temuba ignoring oba okuba isolating olw'okuba balina obulwadde buno batugambanga temusharinga. You see in primary there is a way they stigmatize these people. Kati twagala tubeerewo, we have an expert, we might say. So mubeereko ku Facebook, we are live, the page is the Alternative Uganda. Mukwano, like, follow and press the notification button. Oberengate munange ofuna notification yaffe everywhere we go live. Atasobodde tulaba ku Facebook, we promise we will be on YouTube at exactly 10 or 11 a.m. Edgar, you have something to say?
I had a quote that I would like to give people. It's called "The victors of the war dictate the history to be written." If you have to some more, oftentimes it's not the only history that was actually written, but it's the victors of the war. beba dictating a church n'awandiikibwa mu byafaayo. So abantu abasinga don't actually blindly accept what you read and what you hear and what you see people telling you, because it was them that actually won. But if it was the other faction that had won, it would be actually a different. Nelson Nkwene is already in studios with me. I hope I've pronounced your name very well. Mr. Nelson, good morning and welcome to the Mighty Drive.
Good morning, Mathew. Good morning, Farida. It's a pleasure being here today, and the Safe Space Network is honored, and the people of Uganda are honored to have Alternative Uganda. You are doing an incredible job, and we are very proud of you.
Okay, yeah, thank you, and you're also doing an incredible job. Yes. Speaking of the Safe Space Network, let's first find out what is actually, if for someone who has not heard of Safe Space before, what is the Safe Space Network, and what is this all about?
Safe Space Network is a public benefit, not-for-profit organization working here in Uganda, and we basically empower, network women and youth to be change agents in their communities in the areas of environment conservation, HIV prevention, and we economically empower them through skilling them and supporting them to have startups. At Safe Space we believe that if youth are educated and networked, they have the potential to offer solutions to the world's toughest problems. So, and that is what we are trying to make sure that our Ugandan youth achieve, so that they contribute to the problems we are faced with today. And that leads me to our HIV prevention program.
Before we delve into the HIV prevention program, it's going to come, but why actually women and youth? Why not men? And men also have gone to this.
They are even the agents of the transmission.
That is your stereotype. But let's continue. That's a stereotype that Farida always has on the show. I'm telling you, people who are watching us actually know that you're stereotyping that. Why women and youth and not men also?
If I was a woman, you would say that I'm favoring my gender, but the fact that I'm a man, I understand, and I think many of you people watching out there, you will agree with me that women and youth are more vulnerable, or they are always given limited space. They are not that empowered enough to demand and be shrewd enough to get the space. So, and we believe that if women are empowered and emancipated, then our entire community is emancipated. You imagine if your mother was not that clean enough to help you grow, you would have died maybe of an illness that is kind of big.
And that's where the saying goes that
these women are getting emancipated. How are you preparing these men to deal with the emancipated women, because they are not ready to handle the emancipated women? Is there a program that is helping the men to cope?
Have you wondered how women have been managing men that are emancipated? African culture, this culture has been patriarchal, where you find that
it has been and it still is.
The levels are quite going low. We no longer believe that the men are the superior sex, because we have seen women that are doing great things that men, at times men can fail to do, but women have done it. So honestly, at Safe Space Network, we have not thought about now emancipating or empowering men as they are already empowered. Let us first get those that are low. If we get them at the same level, then we shall have a society and a community that is equitable. A Safe Space Network.
I really want not to agree with you, like men are already empowered and then you are empowering the women. Maybe they are already empowered, but they have not captured the concept of dealing with emancipated women. They know the woman of the 90s. They do not know the woman of these the current years, or who is emancipated, who can stand. You see, the confident women are pushing away the men. Men don't know how to handle confident women. So as you are making these women realize their roles, how they should be, what they should do, what have you done for the men? Because it is the result of single motherhood that we are seeing, that these men are not really ready to handle these emancipated women, and the reason why we are having a lot of single mothers around.
Thank you, Farida. There is what we call positive masculinity. Positive masculinity is where...
Sorry to cut you short. Katini, do you know Uganda?
Si lulungi nnyo naye nyinza kuteekamu olutonotono. But for this case of positive masculinity, I may not do it well in Uganda. Thank you. Thank you. Positive masculinity is where men use their strengths, physical strengths, and already gained emancipation to support women realize their potential. To be muscular does not mean that you should be fighting or beating up a woman. Instead, you should be making women feel secure and supported around you. By that, you are supporting them. That is what we call positive masculinity. And we have a program on that, though that is not on the on the forefront of our programs.
Safe Space Uganda, are you only in Kampala Safe Space Network?
Safe Space Network, we basically operate through chapters, which we call Safe Space chapters. These are institutions based, like institutions of learning, and community based. For example, on Saturday we were at our chapter in Kawempe. That's where we launched our HIV Prevention Campaign. And we have chapters in schools. You know, Safe Space Network, we are talking about creating safe spaces in our communities. By a safe space, we mean where someone feels secure, safe both physically and emotionally. And that is what we are creating. Why would someone need a safe space? When you're in a safe space, actually you people, this is some sort of a safe space because I'm really feeling free, emotionally and physically. I'm so grateful for Untitled Uganda for that. So while someone is in a safe space, you think freely, you learn what you do not know. And the fact that you do not know, that does not make you a weak person. And if you say something is not right, you are not judged as being wrong. If a girl is in a safe space with age mates who are males, she does not feel marginalized. She does not feel low because she's is a lady in a space of men. And that is what we are talking about at Safe Space Network. So we are promoting the creation of safe spaces at schools, churches, communities, and at workplaces, so that people that have been socially and can I say historically looked as marginalized, these are the youth and women, can be able to learn and play their role and feel not judged, and at the end we shall have an equal opportunity society that every person is going to enjoy.
Nelson,
thank you.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but as I was reading about Safe Space, I've realized that you have been working in Kampala, basically, or in the central, let me say that. But the challenge is the marginalized communities and the marginalized individuals, for example, the women, and from way in the rural areas. Yeah. So don't you think Safe Space maybe should have planted more roots, or actually rendered more services to the youths and the women that are in the rural areas, in those areas where the patriarchal society and that patriarchalism actually still thrives even up to now?
Thank you, Mathew. Yes. You are very right, and I totally agree with you on the fact that there are other youth in outside of Kampala that are marginalized or that are not empowered, and the women. You know, we can't solve all problems at a go or in a very short time. Safe Space Network actually started in 2018. So we are about how many years?
That was 2.5 or 3, let's say.
So if you minus this that we've been under lockdown, you realize that we...
Like 1 or 2.
Oh!
1 or 2.
So we are getting there. We are getting there. And that's why when you read about how we operate, for example, someone who is in Karuhanga watching this show and you want to start a safe space at your school or at your church or in your community, when you read on our website, safespacenetwork.org, you realize that we provide for a platform how you can initiate establishment of a safe space in your community.
We start from there. How do these people actually initiate these safe spaces? Because I'm looking at an individual like Edgar Mathew. I don't have a lot of influence in a lot of spaces. So how do you actually empower these individuals to go and start creating these safe spaces? How do you do this?
Thank you, Mathew. You know, a safe space, as I've told you, the basic concept is to create a space where one is feels safe both physically and emotionally. Before you take safe space to a level of institutions, first think about having a safe space in your home. Have you imagined a dad that when he reaches home, a wife and the children, they scatter, they start speaking in languages. Someone has been speaking Uganda forgets and starts speaking Runyankole because the father has come.
Yes.
So
And that shows fear.
Fear, meaning that the home itself is not a safe place, not a safe space. So when you want to initiate or start a safe space in your community,
It starts with you.
it starts with you. We first train you on how or what a safe space is about. And then if you are to establish it at your school, we come and train your staff. If it is a church or a community, you first make a group of, let's say, 10 people or 5. Then we come and educate you on what you expected as a safe space place. And then after that, we give you we give you notes to read, and we keep interacting. Then we register you, become a chapter, and then we keep in touch. For institutions that where we have established our safe space chapters, it becomes our own initiative. We get there, we mobilize people. Let's say at a school, we talk with a few teachers, we educate them. When they like our idea, then we train entire school administration or staff how a safe space operates. And then after learning, then now they register with a safe space chapter, and then they enroll students and start giving them a safe space. For example, someone may think of a safe space as a building or as an office.
That's what I also had in mind.
Oh, we can have...
Just educating me now.
Thank you. You must be a good student.
I'm a student. I'm a forever student.
So
Forever good.
Yeah, forever student.
So you can have a safe day or a safe evening. For example, if it is a school, you can dedicate a Thursday evening, maybe let's say 1 classroom, and you can be like from 4 p.m. up to 5 p.m. Let's say we shall be in a classroom of senior 3, and students that will be there. First of all, you need to assure them that where they are, they should enjoy the utmost liberty, freedom, feel free with each other. You assure them that they will not be judged. You assure them that what you know and they do not know,
Them feel comfortable
to talk about,
speak freely.
to speak freely what they know and what they don't know. For example, we normally tell these people we train that we know about safe space because we learned about it before them. For example, Mathew is younger than me because I was born before him. Had he been born before me, he would be older than me. So when these students come in a safe space, you tell them that we are your teachers. because we were born, we went to school first. So if it were you, we will also be students. And so feel free. You learn from us, we learn from you. Because, you know, students can know something that teachers may not know. So in a safe space, you are learning, you are discussing. So in this safe spaces, it's where we now bring in our areas of focus, environment conservation, HIV prevention. So in that, when they are in a safe space, they talk about how at home they have been degrading soil, how they have been degrading environment. And they feel they're not going to be judged for that. If this is a girl that has been having a boyfriend, feels free to talk about it. Be like, you know what, teacher, I have a boyfriend, because they know that what they discuss in a safe space remains there.
Nelson, before we go in for a short commercial break, and we will talk about these campaigns, the HIV prevention and the environmental protection, I want you to first give an individual out there the tips, the basic tips, because I know you might be having them off head. Some of the tips that they have to follow in order for them to inculcate a culture of safe space in their spaces. For example, how do parents, start up a safe space in their families? How do teachers ensure that there is a safe space between them and the students? So just give us those basic tips that will help you be an agent of a safe space in your community. Let's say that.
Thank you, Mathew. Yeah. To begin with, as I said, the basic concept behind safe spaces is that someone should feel emotionally safe and physically safe. Someone in a safe space should not feel judged for who they are or for what they don't know and what they have done. A safe space should be for learning and relearning, adapting and adopting.
But what I'm asking is, how do you actually ensure that there is a space for learning? How do you have like those traits you would say that for you, maybe you talk to them freely, maybe you can actually, you can tell the teacher, ask the students to give you questions that they feel that they want to know. Like, what are those practical things that you can do as a safe space agent to ensure that there is safe space? Because one would say an individual, maybe in the rural areas of the country, and we have a lot of people from Barara, a lot of people from Lanton who are watching us right now. He might seem that what I'm doing is okay, I'm ensuring that there is safe space, but yet the children or the students don't feel that they are safe with him. So what can he do as an individual to bring out or to ensure that there is people can actually trust him and there is safe space around him and around the family or around the school or something like that?
The concept of safe space is not a new concept. For example, when I reached here, what do you think made us start discussing freely? One, I know you felt not judged because of what you are, or of our differences. Two, if you to have a safe space, one, you need to be inclusive, and you need to be someone that celebrates diversity.
Kateke mu Uganda. Celebrating diversity.
No, but kangezeko okucelebrating diversity oba okumanya nti waliwo diversity kitegeeza nti okitegeera nti abantu tetufaanagana oba tetubeera kutegeera kwe kumu, tetuli ba myaka emu. Kata bw'olaba omwana n'omusosola lwakuba ye muto ate gwe oli mukulu, ekyo kiba kitegeeza safe space aba tegenda kubeerawo. Okubeera inclusive, wano tugamba nti wobosanga omuntu tamanyi omukkiriza nga bwali tamanyi, atomugamba gwe lwaki kino tokimanyi, kubanga ayinza kubuuza nti chairman wa LC yange mu kyalo yaani tutomumanyi. Kati ekyo kikola ignorant, kitegeeza nti you cannot be in my class No. So those are basic principles of a safe space. Be inclusive, celebrate diversity, be able to be challenged and to learn and relearn and adapt and adopt.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Nelson. N, Nkwene, I will ask you what the N stands for, but that will be after the short commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mighty Drive continues, and when we come back, we start off the discussion on the campaigns that the Safe Space Network has actually launched in the country. He's talked about the HIV Prevention Campaign, and he has talked about the environment, and he is going to be talking about more of that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going for a short commercial break. When we return, the Mighty Drive continues. Good morning.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Omusajja bulijjo muwa ssente mu kibanja mpola ng'asonda poloti ennungi naye ngenza okutuuka nga woofiisi bulijjo wenteeka ssente baavaawo nadda essimu tebazikwata kyokka nga n'ebyentambula byakaweeredde biseera bya covid yegandabye
gwe baakubye naye lwaki weesiga abafere lwaki tewanneebuuzaako ne nkulagirira ba praise nze be bannyamba nze njokke
Praise Property Consultants Uganda Limited bagula n'okutunda ettaka kw'ossa n'amayumba bapunta ettaka ne bakwanguyiza okufuna ekyapa bazimba amayumba kw'ossa n'okuba plan ne architectural design balina ploti enteeketeeke wonna w'ogyetaaze ate ku byapa ebya private mile land n'ebibanja ku ttaka lya Kabaka era bakkiriza ekibanja mpola basange Wandegeya mu katale ka KCCA Southern Wing leve ey'okusatu lumu 128 oba ku ssimu 0706 006 ne 0783 821 918.
Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday right from 6 to 7. It is your responsibility omwana wo kubeera mu nyumba nga teyasuze bweru mbo bamubanja rent. Koyo kulaba abalenzi abasajja abakunga butuufu tebabuulirirwa nga babulamu. Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Dig Talk mukwano gwange gwali topic kiki wandiyagadde twogereko. Is it about family? You can take your time, look for a job, stabilize, men will come, men will always be there, you will get the men. Bonna gwoyagala musajja yenna gwoyagala ojja mufuna. Embaga ketuuke bino bintu byasenga nawe ojja bafuna.
Naye ng'oli asitudde ttu yakedde ku macabaga nti nsitudde ttu naye nga mubutuufu agambye nti gy'akyali muto.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships? Just be commenting a topic yona gyandiyagadde twogereko tujja kuba tujogera kwano ku the Alternative Dig Talk ku share enganzi the Snap Talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
8 a.m. we still have the executive director of Safe Space Network. Nga twogera kati twagala to driving a discussion yaffe towards our topic of the day, the high rates of HIV AIDS and the early pregnancies. Tubadde mu COVID-19 abaana abasinga tebagenda kuddayo kusomero naddala abo abazadde baabwe nga bali strict nga wofuna olubuto nga balinga taata wange wofuna olubuto nga weesiibudde teri kuddayo kusomero because you chose sex,
which is so wrong,
instead of education. So it will tell you wofuna olubuto ebyange naawe awe babikomye sikuwa school fees oba choosing your boyfriend, they should start from there. So tugenda kubanga twogera eri mu abaana naddala abali embuto bamaama abalina abaana bwe batyo abazadde bataata mwena tubagamba nti mubeereko tuli mu COVID-19 tubadde mu lockdown abaana bali locked up ewaka abaana bafunye embuto abaana beefumbiza abaana bafunye HIV bagambye high rates of HIV ziri mu baana 30 and below kitegeza baana bato, it is 30 and below baana bato ababadde nga bali ku campus, maybe ababadde mu high school kati abatalina kusomera abatali kusomera they are seated at home kati bote bafuddeeyo tebamanyi how to control themselves or how to prevent HIV bo bagenda kiwalazima. So kyovola banti HIV yeyongedde nnyo. So Edgar Mathew Karuhanga nsaba ompisizeewo abettaka abo abasajja abo
babayita Praise Property Consultants bano badilinga mu
studio line.
Yeah. Praise Property Consultants bali wali located wali ewandeke ya KCCA Market Room 128 bakola mu ttaka kutunda kugula mataka kutunda mayumba, different things. They do everything about land and housing. Osobola okugula ettaka Kumitiana Road, Masaka Road, Manyutiana Road tubatogera ku Buloba, Bulenga, Bidan, Abujuko, awo wonna osobola okufuna ettaka ku oluguudo. Then osobola okufuna ettaka ku Gayaza Road, Gayaza wonna osobola okufuna Kasangati wonna basobola okufuna ettaka eyo. Oba ne ku Masaka Road owali e Nabingo, Masaka Road, bayita batya wonna, that's full road. Osobola okubanga bakufunirawo ettaka. Enamba yaabwe eri noti 7 noti 6 14 oba noti 783821918 bajja kuba bakukolako. Era okimanyi in the second hour you have a chance to call in the show, that is 0759132310, or you can call us on our MTN, that is 0789017145, and talk to the executive director of the Safe Space Network. Omubuuze ekibuuzo kyonna ky'oyagala omubuuza kyotategedde ajja kubasobola okubanga akikuddamu. Let's continue the discussion. Mr. Nelson, we took a break when we are going to talk about the campaigns that you are launching as the Safe Space Network. You said you launched in Kawempe and Kampala generally. So let's start from there. What are these campaigns that you have actually, launched in the Kampala or in Kampala Central?
Thank you, and for our viewers that have joined us, thank you for joining us, and we should always appreciate Alternative Uganda for the great work you are doing. You're doing such an incredible job serving Ugandans and giving them information. At Safe Space Network, so far there are 2 campaigns we are running. One is a tree planting campaign for Kampala City. We intend to plant a tree for every person that works in Kampala. Neda.
Tree for every person that works in Kampala, Edgar.
The concept is we call this campaign I Am a Tree. I am a tree. We say my life depends on a tree, your life depends on tree.
Which is actually true.
And I am a tree. So I'm going to plant a tree because I am a tree. So if I may ask, you people, every day you breathe oxygen, and oxygen comes from trees, produced by trees. And for example, Mathew, have you planted any tree?
I have, but
Edgar?
not in the recent years.
Edgar,
I have, by the way, yes, what should I lie?
Plant a tree?
I've said in a while, but I have planted before. I think that was in like 2020, lockdown.
Okay.
I planted a tree, an avocado tree.
And
Yes,
you, Farida?
Farida yetu mweso. Farida into your meeting.
But now, if I may take Edgar's position that Farida has not planted a tree, so I will ask Farida. Every day you breathe oxygen. So the oxygen you breathe comes from whose trees?
The natural forest.
Oh, natural forest. Yeah. So it's high time you planted a tree. In that, you do not live in deficit. So we're saying, I am a tree, you are a tree. So we should plant trees because we are trees. Yeah. You know, the oxygen...
Where do you intend to plant these trees?
Oh, our concept is, if you're in Kampala and you have private land, you have a home, you have a school, you have a hotel, or you're a church, or you're a community, and you want to plant trees on your land, just reach us. We shall give you free fruit seedlings. Free. Fruit seedlings. Because we want to conserve environment and at the same time enhancing our nutrition needs.
Nelson, I would like to pass on this message also. People should realize that the trees we are enjoying right now, the oxygen, was planted by someone before. And that someone... Auntie, but you never know how I sure that they are natural. Yes. But what I'm saying is this. There was someone who went out of their way before, in fact generations before, because a tree can even take like 100 years to grow. But he realized that one time there will be a Farida Bikobere who will be consuming that oxygen, and it was not all about them. So planting trees is not all about you as an individual. It's about how about your child? How about the child of your child? Because at the end of the day, Uganda is not ending tomorrow, and people have that tendency of thinking it's going to end. Let me finish my point. This is a very, very much point. Plant the tree for your child and your great-grandchild, so that because when you cut them now, what are they going to use? That is a question that you should also ask yourself. Continue with the question.
Why did you think that I was going to cut you? Actually, like this.
It's okay.
I really want to know which plans do you have for these people that are planting trees to gain cash? Because yes, I'm planting these trees, but they will cut them after 10 years or 5 years. Are they also conserving the environment?
You see, why we chose to give fruit seedlings, this tree, this plant you planted in your compound or at school, for example, if you planted an avocado tree, why would you be cutting it down if, let's say, we are not expanding? And if you're expanding, when we are giving you these seedlings, we educate you, we train you on why you are doing it. Some people cut trees when they actually don't know what they are doing is wrong. What I've found interesting, actually, with this campaign, I Am a Tree campaign, is that people are learning from it. For example, the other day, me, I live in Kawempe. So when I was passing, I found kids, when they saw me, they started singing, I am a tree, you are a tree, I am a tree, you are a tree. So you see that this information is going into a generation of these young people. And so if, let's say, a child knows that is a tree, and he sees you cutting a tree, first of all, a child will ask you, why are you cutting a tree? I am a tree. So about cutting, these people planting, again cutting them, through educational approach, we are confident that they have learned, and those that will not have learned will learn a hard way. Because I think you all know that the air quality in Kampala is way below the standard levels.
Definitely.
So
Kampala is the most polluted city in Africa right now.
So when you start getting illnesses related to poor air quality, you will get to know that what you're doing is wrong. So we educate you today. If you do not learn, then you will learn a hard way.
Edgar, I think this campaign of I am a tree, you are a tree, you shouldn't cut trees. I think you should involve NEMA, because looking at our highways, those roads have no trees at all. Even these roads in Kampala, look at this road here where we are, the Lukuri-Nanganda road. It has no trees. I think that campaign should extend to the roads, and maybe you involve NEMA, and then you
and
get
even the
these
question
seedlings and then you planting along there, because people in homes.
If I may come in, look into the camera and tell NEMA to plant trees where you're saying I should reach it out to them, and
it is because they have failed.
look into the camera and remind them.
Because for you are an organization that may listen to you.
Because you have a campaign that is actually intending to achieve the goal. I have to tell you to do that.
The question would actually be, have you tried to involve NEMA?
We have involved a number of institutions, and actually some of the seedlings we are giving out, we got them from National Forest Authority. We have written to NEMA, and maybe they are yet to respond to us. We are
as they always do.
We are working with KCCA.
What do you mean, as they always do?
We are working with KCCA. And again, my friends, you know, conserving environment should not necessarily be tagged on government institutions. It is everyone's role.
It's because at times, if I want to plant trees along this road, I may not actually do it without the permission of NEMA. They will ask me, who allowed you to do
so
that?
Farida,
even if I am a good citizen.
Farida, you in particular, for you want to plant along the road?
But no, I am specific because these trees along the roads would help people, maybe those who are walking for the shades and all that kind of stuff. That's why I am being specific to roads and highways.
Thank you, Farida. You see, advocacy takes many ways. Like, for example, if there is a staff at NFA or at NEMA or in Ministry of Water and Environment that is watching, they must have realized that indeed Ugandans appreciate that there should be planting trees along the roads. And it is something we can think about, Alternative Uganda, we can think about it together. This is something we can do. But for now, we are looking at Kampala City, whose environment is actually polluted, where we are having lots of constructions ongoing, where cars are putting lots of fumes in the air. And climate change is a reality. You know, we're already experiencing global warming is here. So it is good. We start with the Kampala people. We plant a tree at least for every person. And by that, we are contributing
for every person in every home?
In Kampala. So
some homes will have no space.
I agree with you. I agree with you, but you know, we cannot solve everything at one time. So we shall do what we can. Actually, our role, our objective, is to contribute towards climate change mitigation and abating global warming. We are not saying we are ending it. We are contributing towards. So
reducing the bizarre effects.
So if I played a role and someone in Kayunga does the same, and another one in Mitomo, where you come from, does the same, then the summation of our work will indeed sort out the problem we are having.
Okay. We are still talking about the environment, that campaign that you're doing of each person is a tree. What are some of the findings you've realized as the Safe Space Network in as far as climate conservation is concerned? Have the people actually welcomed this campaign, and how far have you actually gone? How do you feel? What is the impact you have done as the Safe Space Network through that environment protection campaign?
Thank you, Mathew. A few minutes ago, I sang here a small song that kids sang. I am a tree, you are a tree, I am a tree. So, not everyone will plant a tree, but at least they will reduce on the rate of cutting trees. Because here we explain how important trees are in our life. And actually, we have so far given out 40,000 seedlings to private tree planters in Kampala. Maybe we would have given out more, but this lockdown and movement restrictions we have reduced the rate at which we are giving out seedlings.
To individual persons?
If you confirm to us that you have where to plant, these seedlings we're having are for Kampala city.
How do I confirm? You come and visit my home?
There is a form we give you. You can apply online, and we confirm with the leadership of your area. So we involve local community leadership. We may need satisfaction from your LC1 that indeed you're from this LC. We do not want to give you fruit seedlings and you carry them and take them to Manafa when our city is still polluted, intoxicated. So we are for now looking at Kampala. People have embraced the campaign.
Anyone who is outside Kampala don't qualify for the
for this campaign. For this campaign, for I Am a Tree, is specifically in Kampala. How we have scaled it up, it is now instead in other countries. Countries?
Like?
Oh, we have, can I say, enrolled other youth organizations in other countries to take up I Am a Tree in their countries. For example, we have a group in Bangladesh. They are called Youth Movements. We have a group, in these countries we have organizations and youth influencers. So currently we are present in Bangladesh, in Morocco and Jordan. And there is a group from Nigeria. They are called Green Janitors. We also have a group.
Is the same campaign?
They are running I Am a Tree in their respective countries. So we initiated it here and then turned it into a global campaign, global youth campaign. I Am a Tree Global. So whereas here in Kampala in Uganda is limited in Kampala, in other countries they spread it across their respective countries.
Okay. So Nelson, as we come to the end of your environmental campaign, when is this campaign? How long is it going to go? And what are your expectations? Do you think it's going to create positive impact, which it has already been creating, but do you think this impact is actually going to be sustainable in terms of you people and in terms of the people who are actually carrying out? Because it is not you are the initiators, you are the people carrying the flag, but the implementers come back to us, the individuals, the wananchi. So how do you think, is it feasible, and how long is this campaign going to run?
Thank you, Mathew. You know, we attach a rampant counting of trees on a behavioral aspect. For example, after talking with you, knowing that you are a tree, do you think you would easily now go back home and cut all the trees around your compound? No. So we believe that this campaign is going to be impactful through educational approach and the behavior change approach we are using. And people are planting trees. And again, the question of sustainability should not only be put to Safe Space Network, it should be a question put to all Ugandans. Actually, Ugandans, people in Kampala that are planting trees are not planting trees for Safe Space Network. They are planting trees for themselves. Definitely. It is you who is a tree. So if you've cut your tree, then you've cut yourself. So the question of whether it is going to be sustainable or not, it should be put to each one of us. Of course, for us, we take measures. We make sure you've planted. We
give you the seeds.
We do site visit. For example, last week, when we were in Kawempe, we visited some homesteads that had taken seedlings. After a year, we will go back and check. So for us, we shall play our part. And Ugandans, we all need to know that there is no any other place we call our home other than here.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much,
one
Nelson.
of their campaigns.
Of course. We save the best for the last. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for continuing watching us and the discussion here. We have Nelson Nkwene. He is the executive director of the Safe Space Network right here in Uganda. He said it's a global campaign now. They've actually gone global, so that is also a tick for you. HIV is becoming HIV these days, Nelson. If you didn't know, young people are contracting the disease, especially women. They are having the biggest numbers of the disease, and young people. So we are at an imminent risk of HIV again. And it ravaged Uganda back in the 80s. That is when we saw a lot of people dying.
And women.
So I was telling you, and for our personals out there, this disease came in the 80s. It ravaged Ugandans. In the 90s, we fought the disease, and we had numbers reducing up to like, I think, 1.3%. And boom, in 2020, we are getting surveys that are actually confirming that people have, the numbers have increased. Right now we have Ugandans that are living with the disease. Up, I think there are 1.5 million people right now living with the disease, and the numbers are increasing alarmingly. Before we delve into the HIV prevention campaign that you have done, first paint a picture for a Ugandan who's out there. How have we reached this point now? After 20 years and over 30 years of battling the disease, and we had actually thought we were winning, and then boom, it's back.
Mathew, what we need to appreciate, or what we need to know, is that once someone or a society starts to live in a denial of something, then it is heading for worse. True, we've read reports that say that HIV prevalence has reduced, and our people have gotten this picture that HIV is is no longer a threat. But the truth is...
I'll surprise you with a statement later that these girls actually say. The girls say they don't fear HIV, they fear pregnancy more than HIV. That's fact.
I will discuss that. I will discuss that
later. Yes, not
of course, which is true. Which is true for some young people. So HIV is here, and one reason why we're seeing the prevalence increase is that some of our stakeholders have not done enough. Mostly parents. You know. When you're at home, there's what we call living in denial. For example, refusing to talk about something because you are not comfortable about it. Many parents, Ugandan parents, have not been open enough to discuss with their children, the girls, about HIV, how it is got, and how one can protect self from contracting.
But they will say the teachers talk about these things and they teach them to the students.
You see, if I have a tough dad at home, who will be like, when I want to move out, to be like, do not go there, not explaining why I should not go there. When he goes away, I will try to escape, to find out why from going there. So the right way would be, don't go there. Maybe because when you go, maybe there are dogs out there, there are wild dogs that are rampant now. They may bite you. So in that sense, I would not walk there. So most parents have not come out to teach or educate their children on the reality of HIV, that it is there. Actually, honestly, I come from a remote village in Mitoma district. I think I saw a condom for the first time when I was in senior 4. Senior 4, I had not seen it. So you want to say that my parents didn't know about condoms?
They knew.
They knew. So why did it take me long to know?
Because they never used them.
Not because they never used them.
They might have not used them, but he was a young person who actually knew these things.
I should have been made.
Having a condom in a home, it involves money.
Why
would a parent get money and buy a condom, yet they would
just
use that as a...
They are condoms, okay.
No, he knew they were condoms, but seeing the condom.
You see, if let's say, in that time, because I was in senior 4 when I was 17, and we
You're already sexually active.
Sexually active biologically,
Yes,
not in practice.
Yeah, I know. That's
So,
what I mean as well. But sometimes there are people at that age in practice.
exactly. There are people who become sexually active in practice as early.
This lady so happy. I don't know why.
This is a safe space now.
I think because you're making her so happy.
So,
I'm not saying her happy in a way like this.
Sure, and so what I'm
It's
saying.
because of the topical discussion.
you see,
yeah.
there are people that get sexually active, not only biologically but in practice, as early as 12 years.
Definitely.
And you find that this is someone who does not know how they can protect themselves from getting HIV. We have girls of 13, 14 who engage in sexual practices with men. But these girls, they do not know how they can protect themselves. They are not raped, but they are engaging in sexual practices. Meaning, if they knew these preventive measures, they would be protecting themselves. But parents have not done enough to be open. And maybe at the time I will discuss how now the concept of safe space comes into HIV prevention. So, whereas the government has done enough sensitization, there have been a number of campaigns. I remember PSA, in Western Uganda we had Ikobi, number of campaigns that have been ongoing. Straight Talk, is it Rock what something?
Rock, I remember that Rock something.
A program on radio. Organizations and government have played their role, but parents, I want to say they have not played their role. And that is why we see during lockdown, during closure of schools, when children are back home, that's why we're actually seeing that more girls are getting pregnant. What was not happening when they were at school.
That's what I was going to even ask you.
It is a concern of parents living in a reality life, in real life with their children. You know, some parents cannot accept that their children engage in sexual practices.
They will deny it is different.
I don't know whether Mathew's parents would think that he does. I don't know actually whether he does, but...
Mathew, you do?
No, not now.
So,
I've done.
So the parents may deny that he does not. So, but when actually he does. So no sooner should they realize that he does and they discuss with him on how actually he can do it safely if he cannot avoid, the better. And so that leads us to our concept of safe spaces.
But Nelson, before you enter the safe space,
Do the parents need to discuss these things when the people, these children have started engaging themselves in the sexual intercourse, or they should talk to them before, so that when someone decides to do it, they know how to protect themselves. Instead, like, they should start having these discussions as early as the kids are 9 years, because a 9-year kid can understand.
Yes, but Nelson, I wanted to ask you, when do we get the blame from the parents and put it on the children themselves, the females or the boys and the young people, because they're the ones who are prone to these things? Why do we always have to castigate the parents, maybe the teachers, maybe the government? When does the blame get back to the youths themselves before we delve into how to integrate safe spaces with HIV?
What we need to appreciate is that as we grow, there is where we reach, and as we socialize, we learn to socialize, and at times we go beyond. So before we blame these children, these girls, we need to appreciate that socializing and getting attractions and getting tempted, these are things that come with age.
They're normal.
At adolescence, we know libido is high. So not every girl is going to engage in sexual practices, but there are those that will. So I do not want to blame to put more blame on these young people that are growing. I want to put the responsibility on the people that are supposed to guide them as they grow. And that's what the Bible tells us, that the parents should show us the light of the way to take.
Nelson also knows the Bible, and I didn't know that. So Nelson, what is this campaign that you have initiated about HIV maybe prevention? In fact, why do I have to preempt your answers? What is this campaign that you're doing?
This HIV prevention campaign that we launched is to protect a girl child from contracting HIV AIDS during this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, and the closure of schools. It has been researched and reported. Surveys say that there has been lots of teenager pregnancies during this lockdown. So, whereas most reports talk about pregnancies, I think we all know how people get pregnant. So, what we're seeing with eyes are pregnancies. How about the contracting of HIV? Just like how Mathew, a few minutes said that more girls fear getting pregnant than getting HIV. So we could be seeing more girls get pregnant is an indicator that there are lots of sexual that there are lots of sexual activities going on out there. Maybe someone that may not get pregnant and be reported or be seen, but they may make HIV. So we are looking at how can we, there is protecting a child and there is a child protecting self. Actually, for us, we are not protecting these girl children, but we are sensitizing and educating them on how to protect themselves. Okay, so we are adding more effort on what the parents and other institutions are doing. So we get these girls, we train them, we educate them on how someone gets HIV. How can someone contract HIV? Two, how can someone prevent self from getting HIV? And so our approach is that we use HIV prevention ambassadors. We appreciate peer-to-peer education. I'm convinced that I and Mathew can easily discuss and reach an agreement than what he would do, or what would happen with someone of 70 years. So we believe that this girl we educate, when she goes back in the community, she has these friends she interacts with. So we expect them, we empower them to go and share the knowledge. You see, as we said, or as I've said, there are these things we need to appreciate that, can I say, Ugandan parents are not yet free with their children to discuss sexual matters. So, however, youth amongst themselves, they discuss these things. So the better way to penetrate them and talk to them is to use their peers. And that's what we are doing. We are training them how you can contract HIV. Of course, now our worry and the most way we are looking at is through unprotected sex that is happening. Parents leave their children home, they go to work, and these children remain at home, interacting free range. Schools, I don't want to use it caged, but they confine young people in one place. And so now with close of schools and lockdown, young people are in free range. Nagenda next village, the parent has gone to work. That's where she's going to meet someone that uses drugs. And these men can be conning. They can be conning, they can lure. And so if you reach out there, you're a girl, and you find that you cannot avoid it, know how to protect yourself. We partnered with Preventive Care International, a not-for-profit organization here in Kampala. So together we are educating these girls. We started with Kawempe, and we hope to get to other divisions of Kampala. And we may not reach in other parts of the country. If we manage, we will get there, but if we do not, that's why for us we say that other stakeholders, churches, community leaders, government should do something about HIV levels that are increasing. The approach is that reach these young people, educate them, then let them educate others. For the most part, we've concentrated on parents, telling them do this, but now let us get to real children, teach them, bring the reality to them. The fact that it is now evident these young people are engaged in sexual practices, so let us tulina kyetukweka kati tubasange we bali tubayigirize engero how they can be safe there.
How are you doing this? Are you like, do you have obubondo, they are called cells, you get girls and maybe educate them, or do you just go to maybe marketplaces and start to do that? How do you actually do how are you carrying out this HIV prevention campaign?
For example, we use networks. If we reach in a village, we get a local leader who identifies key young girls that we train to be HIV prevention ambassadors in their areas. We do not go to buckets because if, let's say, we put a microphone out here, the people will gather and they will not distance. So they would get COVID. So one thing that we normally remind people, actually, if I may ask you, Mathew and Farida, do you know in one day you can contract COVID and again contract HIV same day? So they test you, they find your COVID-19 positive, you are HIV positive. So people should not think that because COVID is here, so that HIV is away. So we need to be reminded and keep watching and preventing ourselves from HIV. I'm not conversant with statistics of how many people die of HIV daily and those that die of COVID. So that is something we need to compare. And
people fear a lot of COVID and they're just playing around
because
with
COVID, you see, at HIV you can live with it. I think that is the difference. It is the reason why people no longer fear HIV, because they know I'll go to the hospital, get the tablets, take on the journey of living with it.
And when we find a youth that is already HIV positive, having HIV, by the way, is not end of life. If you adhere to treatment, then you can live for many years.
Than even the person who is not having.
Exactly, because we've seen people who die of accidents when they're HIV negative, and a person with HIV lives many years. So we remind these youth to adhere to treatment and to keep talking with their medical advisors on how to live a healthy life while they are positive.
Okay. You've talked about preventing, but there may be chances of people who have already contracted the disease. Is Safe Space doing something for those ones who have actually already contracted the disease, unfortunately, because maybe they didn't know about these messages right now? Are there some ways that you're helping them?
We have not had the preventive measures.
Yeah, you'll tell us that maybe because you're coming to the end of the show.
Oh, okay. About those that are already HIV positive, we recommend them to health centers where they can get treatment. Actually, we are working on a mobile application that can help an HIV person to locate the nearest point where they can get their ARV treatment. For example, if you travel from Manafa or you traveled from Koboko and come to Kampala, and let's say you had forgotten your medicine, using the app and where you are, you should be able to locate the nearest point. We are still working on that application. It is in the process.
It's a good innovation.
Yeah, we shall soon be launching it. So for now, what we're doing referrals where you can get HIV medicine to live a healthy life. And we have encouraged people that are HIV positive to form networks of colleagues that are also HIV positive. I will not disclose the networks we have, but we have networks of HIV people living with HIV. We bring them together in that now that becomes their safe space. They discuss knowing no one is going to judge them. They share their experiences and they keep reminding each other to adhere to treatment.
Because that is what I was going to ask you. HIV mostly kills people not because of the disease itself, but the mental perspective, the psychology. They feel like, oh God, this is torturing or something like that. So is that one of the ways you're doing to help the mental health of these patients?
Exactly. Of course, when they get together, you know, for example, if you are if let's say you are in this village and you think you are the only one who is HIV positive, you know how tormenting that can be. You have no one to share with. You have nowhere to get experience how it is done. Some people, when they start on ARVs, their bodies respond in a way that can be weird at times, and they get weird, and at times they stop because they think they are instead going to die because of the medicine. But through these networks of people living with HIV, these people get to learn experience. Someone will be like, do you know, for me, when I started on ARVs, I got headache or I could get weird dreams. So someone who started on it and is getting them gets to realize that actually I'm also going to overcome this. It is short-lived. So that is how we are trying to emotionally support people living with HIV.
All right, thank you so much. And Nelson, give us those preventive tips and measures that a young person out there who's watching you today would want to take away, and maybe how should they practice them? And do you actually give people these things like condoms, things like that, to just maybe in case it happens, they should be safe?
To begin with, I don't know why you chose to. Anyway, maybe that's how it is always done. To ask, are you giving?
Yeah, okay, because that's
no, we do not give. We do not give. For example, when we go for these trainings, people that attend, we do not give them condoms to go with. No, that would be like this. Go and no. What we do?
Yes, but this time round.
No. What we do?
You said you already acknowledge the fact that they are doing.
Yes. You see, our approach, we are approaching these things in with the principle of safe space. We tell you something. We say, you know what? There is HIV out there. You get it through this way. And how you can prevent yourself from getting it is through these methods. Abstain, that is one of them. If you cannot, there are condoms. There is what we call PrEP. PrEP.
Is it PrEP?
Oh, it's an interesting concept. There is PrEP, P-R-E-P, which is PrEP. And then there is PEP. PrEP is pre-exposure. And it is basically for people that are at high risk of contracting HIV. So PrEP, this an intervention, we can say tablets that you take if you're at a high risk. For example, we have people that engage in sex workers. So these people are at high risk. They have sex with many people, and at times they do not know their status. So when you use PrEP, it prevents you from contracting HIV.
So you take it every when you're going for your work?
I like the question, when you go for your work. You take PrEP first, within 14 days, you take PrEP for the first 14 days. Then after 14 days, it's when you can have, it's after when you can have safe sex. And then you continue taking the PrEP, okay?
Every day?
Every day.
Oh.
You don't take them today. Let's say you start on them today, and then tomorrow go for your work, for sex work, and you think you're going to be safe. They start working after 14 days. So PrEP is available in government hospitals. You go there, they make an assessment, a medical assessment. They have to test whether your body can sustain, you can manage, and then they also evaluate whether you're at risk. And then after that, they give you PrEP. It is not that PrEP you just go in a pharmacy and buy it. Okay. The medical people must make analysis and evaluation to see whether you qualify for it. Then another way, of course, is commonly talked about use of condoms.
You didn't talk about the PEP?
Oh, PEP. Oh, PEP is post-exposure. If let's say you have sex with someone who you do not know their status, or after you get to know that
this guy is sick,
this person is sick, you go to the medical facility and ask for PEP.
In what period of time?
These tablets are taken for 30 days after exposure.
You take them immediately after you realize?
Within 72 hours, you're supposed to start on them.
For the next 30 days?
For the next 30 days, and you will be safe. If you do it within 72 hours and be consistent and finish them in the 30 days. Okay. So, a girl out there, if it happens and you are raped by someone who you don't know their status, don't think that that is the end of life. Go to a medical facility and access PEP. Okay. If
effects,
like how we have every effect. Did you know that paracetamol also has side effects? Every medicine has some side effects, but we.
Hallucinations like you see,
no, but you see, we look at that side effect and the risk you impose too, if you don't take the PEP.
Nelson, there is a question that has just come in from an individual here. He's saying, thank you for the insights. It's so informative and so important for especially young people. The question is, taking on the approach of sensitizing on the usage of safety measures, won't this promote premature sexual intercourses that has been the major cause of moral degeneration, especially in the Western world? Shall we not be following that trend?
Whoever sent that question, I want to, thank you for watching and appreciating that
read some messages
what we're doing is important. So if I may ask that person that sent that message, when our girls in dark engage in sexual practices and when they're not protected and they contract HIV, should we also that we are following the trend of Western countries that have high levels of HIV? I talked about living in denial. For example, if you are poor and you want to live like a rich guy, know that you will break your back. If we know, like from the statistics, we're seeing more girls getting pregnant. That means that they are engaging in sex.
Yeah,
so
maybe to sustain their lifestyle.
It is better we tell these people that if you're to engage in sex, actually it is not the Safe Space Network is not promoting sex, is promoting safe sex.
Because we know that people are having sex.
They are having it. They are having it. So it's like they are stopping us from. They want to stop us from educating these people. That is not good, I think. And it is a choice. Like how some parents have chosen not to discuss these issues openly. But if you refuse to discuss with your daughter about this, she will get HIV, she will get pregnant, and you will have to handle the aftermath. So we are not copying Western world. we are minding about having our girls safe and a safe Uganda and a next generation that is HIV free, and that is our target.
Farida, the
Brooke
messages
Williams,
and continue.
send my greetings to your colleague Edgar Mathew and Nelson. Thanks for the show.
Thank you.
When I put his poster on my status, he was like, "Oh my God, I want this. He is my friend." Thanks, Williams, for watching the show. He is in Dubai.
Okay, thank you.
A few messages in Facebook website abantu tebalina bibuuzo bingi naye bakwebaza for the work you are doing.
Thank you. Babimanyi.
Babimanyi?
Ugandans like written like they know.
Like they know these things. No, because we have been studying the things more primary. You see, me when I first saw a female condom, I was at campus. I was excited. Because Edgar, stop laughing. There are people who have not even realized they are female condoms.
Actually, personally, I saw a female's condom last year.
Personally, I have not seen a female condom.
You see? And you were here laughing at me. I was at Mook and I had the chance to see a female condom. And Tumsime Kataga, good morning to you all. I am already here. Thanks for the show. Dilma Michivi, you are tuned in. Thanks for the show. Innocent Aineviona, Agamba, thanks for the show. Mark Griffin. Wanda Williams, a lot of people have been on, but they appreciate the work you're doing. I have no questions today in the comments section.
All right. Thank you so much. Nelson, first of all, before you go, tell us what the N stands for in the Nelson N. Nkwene. I don't know if that's the now. Yeah.
I do not know why you would be interested in the N. Because if you called me Nelson, I would respond. If you called me Nkwene, I would say hello.
So let's say N, you say Thank you so much, Nelson.
N stands for Nwahereza.
Nwahereza. That's a good. Okay, Nelson, just give us your button shots and
what he does in his life.
Yeah, of course. Hey, how can I forget that? Nelson, when you're not doing safe space and you're just there and you're alone, maybe on a weekend, what interests you? What do you like to do? And what should Ugandan out there just say? This is Nelson.
When I'm not doing my charity and social work, I read books.
How do you have your fun apart from reading books?
You know, I don't know whether I'm getting addicted to reading. For example, now I'm reading a book called Why Nations Fail. It's an interesting book.
I should look for it.
The author. You people, you always have those good questions. You want to get a copy of the book?
I also want to read. I also like to read.
Oh, I'm sure if you check, I can get you a free copy.
Thank you.
You please follow up. I'm going to get you a free copy of Why Nations Fail.
Thank you very much. You have actually blessed my week.
And I like dancing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I think it's going to dance for us.
It will be next time.
And I'll dance Jamaican music.
Oh, reggae dancer. We're talking Dimaka.
I think I can also dance.
I know.
This is just raising hands.
I thought shaking the boom.
I do not know.
Nelson, give us your parting shots as we come to the end of the show.
One thing that I want to end with is to remind Ugandans and fellow youth. I want to use the fellow youth because right now I'm 32 years. That HIV is here, and you can contract HIV and COVID on the same day. And they test you, they find you are HIV positive and COVID-19 positive. So you may be called positive in short. So not to be called that, make sure you protect yourself. And we need a generation that is free of HIV. And I want to remind every person out there that the future of this country and the hope, our hopes are in youth. You know, youth are the inheritors of this world. They are the leaders of tomorrow. And this world belongs to them. That's why we say that plant trees now if you want a future that is environmentally friendly, that is not affected by climate change. Prevent yourself from getting HIV if you want a future that is HIV free. In other words, all hopes are in you, the youth, and we expect you can create the society you want. You can be the change agents. Go out and change the community, make it into spread the gospel. And as I told you, at Safe Space Network, we believe that if youth are educated, empowered, and networked, they possess the power to offer solutions to the world's toughest problems. And so, my dear, my fellow youth, you have the solution for that problem the world is faced with, and we need that solution from you. Don't get HIV today. We want you living.
Nelson should actually be a politician. He's gonna speak. Thank you so much. Farida, your parting shots before you go. And but it's okay. I'll also congratulate.
But congratulations, very faithful. It hurts. Boba wafumbirwa but no negative, and then along the way navayongali positive. You cannot know because almuntu aiza no kwesi bakonti go wabuleta because changu nyo omuntu okubeera positive natagamba but no nabeera wonga living naye mpaka ngayagala babiri kati balwale. So we congratulations bamikwana abafumbiddwa naye ate mubeere besigwa mu bufumbo bwamwe bumuyingidemu. Enkya we have omulangira Nakibinge Kekimbugwe muzukulu wa Kabaka Mwanga. Tugenda kubeera naye saawa ebeeremu ey'okumakya paka saawa 3 tuba twogera nsonga za Buganda, nsonga za Uganda, culture ne ensi yonna okutwaliza wamuze wano Sesukawo. Edgar, thank you for watching.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. We had Nelson Nkwene. He is from the Safe Space Network, Uganda. And before I go, congratulations to you, Canary Mugume. Thank you so much for everything you've done. You've made yourself proud, your family proud, and your lady, Sasha Ferguson, are proud. We wish you the best in your marriage. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. I've worked with Rogers Tuliaha, with Teddy Tenjo Namukera on camera, and a special thanks to Nelson and Farida Bikobere. Arnold Mokose Anthony, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, why not enjoy your morning? Good morning.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.